Welcome back to TalkBack Live. In some places, couples can't get a divorce unless they attend state-mandated counseling. Is the state sticking its nose in where it doesn't belong? Let's go back to our guest. And Warren, let me ask you that question. Does the state have a right to tell an individual, look, before you break this thing up, you need to get counseling, you've got to do it?
I don't think the state should say that, but I do think our education system, our churches should be saying to somebody before you should be saying that. And it should be in our mind's eye to recognize that every marriage has a chance of taking two people who look and feel like enemies to each other and get them to understand that there's another perspective. And that's not only good for the couple as individuals, that couple is going to go on and go into a second relationship and a third relationship. And if you don't know how to hear your partner's perspective in your first relationship, you sure enough will destroy it in the second relationship.
Cecile, do you think that forced counseling would work?
Well, first of all, let's not talk about the end. Let's talk about the beginning. Why don't we counsel people before they go into the relationship, after the relationship of marriage? After all, the state is saying that you need a license to marry. Before the state gives that license, perhaps couples ought to think about what they're going into and what kind of commitment that they have to make in order to have that relationship progress and do well.
Audience, you like that idea, right?
Cecile,
Audience likes that idea. Yeah. All right, we've got Ren on the telephone line now from Oklahoma. Ren?
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
That's exactly what what I called to say, is that most people enter marriage with the idea that they're kind of trying on a shoe, and if the shoe doesn't fit, they go back to the store and try and get another one. You know, we should try and counsel people before they get married, so that when they enter marriage, when they go before the priest and says, "Until death do us part," that they actually mean that. In all the churches that I've been a part of, the foundation principle before you get married is that you have to go through marriage counseling. And a lot of the marriages that have gone through marriage counseling, the success rate for them is greater than, you know, people who just think that they're in love and they happen to go down the altar.
But Warren, what do you teach in counseling that would be a premarital counseling that would be effective? I mean, after all, you can't tell really whether I'm going to love this man for the rest of my life.
The big thing that I find is that everybody wants to be honest, but when it comes to them being criticized, the moment they get criticized, they become defensive. Almost no one knows how to handle criticism in such a way as to support their partner, and then after they give their partner support and after they tell their partner, here's what I hear you saying, here's the way you must feel if you feel that way, and then after some time passes, coming back and saying, can I give my perspective also? Are you ready for that now? That's basically an approach that needs to be taught, and that approach should not be taught just in marriage counseling. We teach computer languages in early years. We should be teaching relationship languages in first and second and third grade.
Audience likes that as well. Ivana from Georgia has a question for you.
Well, I'm a child of a divorced parents, and I would just like to say that I would much rather see my parents divorced and being a good friend as they are, because I look at their lifestyles and I can see that they couldn't be possibly happy together, and that would make me much more unhappy to see them fighting and having a bad relationship than seeing them being divorced and having a good life.
Cecile, is a bad marriage better than no marriage if children are involved?
After hearing this girl, one would think not, but I truly believe that if you have a commitment to each other and you continue to work on it, that what is bad will turn out good. But I think it's very important to understand that this business of love, till death do us part, we love each other. What we've lost sight of is that love is a very transient thing. What we must work on is commitment and caring. Once you bring children into the world, you don't have to love each other every day, and as a matter of fact, it's impossible. What you have to do every day is compromise and understand that you have a commitment to each other and to the children that you brought into the world, and you have to fulfill that commitment. My goodness, the Prince and Princess of Wales, when when this story that is now the top story in the world. These are people that have never thought about anybody but themselves. They've gone through life privileged, looking at their belly button, and brought two young men into the world who have listened on television, I'm sure, to their father's liaisons, to their mother's liaisons. How awful. These people should be ashamed of themselves.
Cecile, joining us from American University via the MCI video desktop teleconferencing is Bill.
Yes, Joey. I was wondering, is the judicial process at fault for simplifying the divorce process through no fault?
No, first of all, it's not the judicial process, it's the legislative process. The judges just carry forth the law as set down by the legislatures. What we are seeing is societal pressures on state legislative bodies to make divorce easier and easier. Now I think the pendulum is going to swing, and we're going to start to see more commitment and more difficulty in getting divorced. I think you're going to see states retract the ones that have the states that have no fault divorce. I think we're going to see a retraction, and I think we're going to be making the state legislatures are going to be making divorce harder.
Joey, if we want to get the states involved and the government involved, which is a questionable thing to do, but if we want to get them involved, then do it through things like mandatory. I do agree with you that they are.
The state is involved. You need a license to get married. There are laws. There are laws about it.
If we want to get them increasingly involved, we need to get them involved through mandatory mediating. We need to get them involved in trying to settle disputes in a positive way rather than in a fault way. In a fault divorce, there's only two people who win. The lawyer for the man and the lawyer for the women. I don't want to build pools for lawyers. I want to build pools of understandings for couples. And this is fault divorce is very destructive.
Hang on a second here, Warren. We'll have to take another break here. Coming up on the program, are you or your children casualties of divorce? They used to say that the kids would just get over it, but maybe that was just a way to cop out of the guilt. There are no two ways about it. If you divorce, your children will suffer some pain. But is that reason enough to stay together? We'll continue our talk right after this break.